It's the HBS show with lesson the screen goddess. History behind success of your role model. Yeah, Oluwa lifted me higher. Oh, now they wanna eat with me. Now they wanna drink with me. Now they see me as something. But I can't forget yesterday when they saw me as nothing. No one knows tomorrow, brother. No one knows tomorrow, sister. No one knows tomorrow, mama. No one knows tomorrow, Baba.
Wow, good to have you again on the program HBS Show History Behind Success. My name is Blessing of me, or my guest on this program is a very good man. A man who makes sure that the ordinary person has a voice. He's a fighter, a good fighter, to make sure that you are happy. Who is this man? A man that has impacted in the life of so many people. Who is this man? He's the father. Join me as I make welcome to the program Honorable Obi Chiweta Okonta, Agbogidi, Ashikegbe-Iwebunakiti to the program.
It's the HBS show with lesson the screen goddess. History behind success of your role model.
So you're welcome to the program. You're looking very handsome. What's the secret?
Good life. Grace of God.
All right, so tell us, how was your growing up like? Tell us about your family and how your growing up was like.
That's a tough one. Family life. My parents. Yeah, my father is a civil servant. He works with the Post and Telegraph. I know in those days, Post and Telegraph, their services is required because there's no modern days technology. And I'm from a family of 10. Family of 10 from a civil servant. And I'm the 9th of the 10th child. So you see, our house is we're like handbag. They take us wherever the service take them to. So my growing up, I would say, is too tough, but I would say rather we're like an adventurous. Anywhere we go, we start up from where we stopped. Sometimes we go a little bit down. Because you always say, in classes and all that. My growing up is like an adventurous life. But thank God, an adventure has brought me to this adventure that I am now seated. So I would say I give God the glory and I'm happy that I ventured into a family that I came from.
Okay, you said you guys are 10 in number. So how were your parents able to train all of you?
Discipline. Family discipline and core value of family. Knowing exactly the setup goals that a father and a mother will want to for the children that you brought into the world. They didn't come to the world by mistake. They came to the world because of your thoughts. And those your thoughts is what has brought us to where I am today, because it was all perseverance and planning from both sides. And nevertheless, once the first set fall into place, the first set of your kids, because we are now the last set, once they fall into place, I think that's a model for every other person to join. So it's a QT and education was it. Not excessively, because you know what the civil servant those days receive. Some people want to gamble with their service here by drinking beers, womanizing, and not bothering about family values and core. It takes a man who knows what he wants to serve diligently to bring his family to the right perception and perspective of life. So I think I give kudos to my dad, because working with the Europeans those days, my father was born 1912, so that you understand what I'm trying to say. So as a pre-colonial person, you understand that their days are different from our days. So they have the focus of what they want and how they want their kids to be, even though they must have tested polygamy one way or the other. So they try to now refocus on that polygamous home, and some of the things they saw have emanated from them, so that they will focus on how they want their family to be, in trying to protect or try to run away from what they came from. So I think that's the basic of how my father was able to. My father never had a second wife.
Wow.
So see, so he break the gene of polygamy, because he came from a polygamous home. So I think that was a core value of present that what gave rise to us emulating the man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as a youth then, you're growing up, trying to survive. How was it like?
It was difficult, because you know, we have the good, the bad, and the ugly. Not we have good parents and we still have bad children. As a youth, normally you cannot run away from your youthful exuberance. We do have that. But you see, like what I started by saying, I say, once you have check from home, because everything you do outside is from the home. Once you have check from home, you do little of those dirty things, and you remember that the core value is home. And when those things get to your parents, you'll be disciplined.
Yes.
And more so, you have an elder ones, people who are far senior to you. They help inculcating those ideas too, and they will discipline you. So we did all we can as a youth, play the rough plays and all that, but the focus of the family is education. You must not joke with that. So I think that's just the basic. If for we know it's not easy to have 10 children from civil servants, well, my dad was able to manage in the sense that some of us are not in the body, because we didn't come up the same day as 10. As a man who worked with the European people and all that, and came to this side of the world before the Civil War, there's still what we call family planning, because the number of years I cannot testify, 2 years, 3 years, different gap, so that you can be able to meet up, not the way you give birth this month and the next month or next year you're giving birth. So my father didn't plan like that, so I think I give him kudos too. So he was able to separate his children, some with 2 years, some with 3 years.
Okay.
So with that in mind and the focus for what he wants, I think he believes he wants a large family. So with that in mind and all that, he was able to manage the stipends, because by the time he'll be training the ones that are big, the other ones are coming up. By the time those ones have gotten to a stage, it will be less for you, So yes. I think he's a good planner. But then that doesn't mean that we hadn't all the best of life, because as a civil servant, you only, I think we have what they call family planning, or food you plan that will be necessary
for
the survival of your children. It's not just everything you see you gather. That necessity that will keep the balance of kids. I think we got that, and that was how we were able to survive. And sometimes we still play around our other wealthy friends that you can share ideas and all that. You go to their house, you see to you, and things like that. So, but all the same, it wasn't like the way it is now. You don't own yourself. The family owns you, especially your parents and where you go to and all that. So it's more like a tighter situation for us. We can't be free. Those days there are not much places to go. The average rich man is the one who owns TV. And that's the only thing that can take a child off his course to go and watch television in somebody's house. But if your father can afford to bring television in your house, you begin to attract other friends to come to your house. So I think when we did that, as a civil, it's okay, this is what I will do so that my children will be at home and they will be focused and they set their mind. You now get the TV. And those days, the kind of television we used to have, black and white, and the one in the box that you open and all that. So,
like wardrobe.
Like wardrobe. So it's not too bad, but I think not too good. But thank God we're here. We are.
Okay. So tell us your struggle to make sure that Asaba is where it is today.
Well, I can tell you, when my father, Ogbeshi Benedict Chijindu Okonta, was a retiree from Post and Telegram as head postmaster. That was where he retired from. He retired from Saplet, came back home to contribute his quota. Well, in the wake of his contribution, I know while he was in civil service, he was among those who formed the Asaba Development Association. All that association was after the Civil War to enhance the development of Asaba. Asaba was the battlefield. So I think he was among the set, and in fact, he became the president of that association for. And when he came back, because of his love and passion for development and bringing the ideas that he has acquired from civil sojourn, and then he became the secretary to the Asaba Council, which is the highest one, and the secretary of Otuaza, an age grade that propagates the activities of the town. And like then, the making of Asaba Stadium, the instrumental. Asaba Stadium was not built by the Delta State of Bende State. Okay. Asaba Stadium was first built by the Asaba people, the indigenous people. It was built by the Asaba Development Association under the stewardship of my own father, my very father. So I can say my father has started the development stride of helping develop and build our culture and tradition of the Asaba. So Asaba has never been new, it's the same Asaba. But things come in different folds now. Not the way they saw things that time. That's the way things are now. Because during their time, they had the predecessor of this present the Asaba of Asaba was the Royal Majesty, the Royal Highness Obi Onyetenu. Now we have the Royal Majesty, the Asaba of Asaba. He has his own developmental strive and plans for Asaba, because Asaba now has taken a new turn and a new event in the history of the world. Yes. Asaba is the state capital under his stewardship. And previously Asaba wasn't. It was still under the local authority and all that. So in keeping to the Delta State that we know now, and Nigeria at large and local government in the south, and our culture. What we do is to follow the pattern because I'm already a son of a man who have the passion for the people and a passion for his culture and tradition. So nevertheless, I have been working to promote our culture and tradition. That's why that same culture that my father has started has brought me to where I am today, seated as Agbogidi, which means I have no other choice, no other thing than to continue to promote and develop and see ways that our people will open doors for other things to come in, as in terms of cultural exchange and all that. Because we know there are a lot of people now in our town. When you come now, you come to Asaba man's house, we don't wage kola nut. It's not part of our culture. It's a borrowed culture that people do within our circles, but in Asaba. But when it comes to our own, we try to maintain what we know that has existed for long. So Asaba is no more or less a place where we accept people. We call ourselves hospitable people. We receive strangers like me. I know we interact with a lot of persons, and we try to make them understand that in living with us, you have to bring the goodness of Asaba and take the goodness to your place too.
So you just make mention of tradition that your father was who loves tradition and culture and all of that. So was that why you are now into tradition, or what really pushed you into being a traditional man?
I stayed with my father. I have no privilege of traveling like some people who say they are looking for greener. I go to school and come back. I come back and I stay with my father. Staying with my father, I got to understand the passion. I got to understand the love. And I partook in some of all those things. So, and I became a lover of custom and tradition too. Okay? And I enjoy it because I don't see anything that is so contradictory that some persons don't love about it. So I have passion because it was inculcated to me by my father. And having stayed with him and served him, and, being around when all those things were carried out, I should see no reason or less why I shouldn't continue for where he stopped.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are one person that the youth love so much. They are always around you. So tell us your experience, your youthful experience, and now how you are able to manage the youth that are coming to you to make sure that they live a good life, an impactful life.
I would say I'm rather calm now. It wasn't like it was easy for me because every youth out there wants to explore without knowing what they're exploring. It happened to me. I know wanted to conquer, wanted to see everything, wanted to do everything, wanted to know everything as a youth. And in trying to know everything, there are other vices that you meet along the way. And those vices are you meet your peer group, the ones that are smokers, the ones that one will always deceive their parents that they're in school, they are not in school, the ones that will want to say they don't love education, the ones that there are so many things that wants to look for, maybe their beat is just trying to chase women, rape women. There are a lot of things. So as a youth, when you engage in such youthful exuberance, you want to explore, you want to conquer, you want to see it all, you want to taste it. Even the one you don't know, you meet people of your mates who are even wilder than you, they want to bring you into it and all that, But all this being what it is out there, because these things are not done in the home. They are done out on the street. Nobody, no parent sees it at home. So most of these things are done on the street. So when you do all these things on the street, you now come back to become the good boy again. And your parents will not understand that you are even worse than any other person out there. So, but it takes either your siblings, your relations, your what's it called, your parents, to really know that either your quietness at home or your stubbornness at home, will begin to look at it and see how they can begin to cancel you at home. And if you have senior ones that are already in place and they are more stubborn than you are, you know your stubbornness will not exceed theirs. They will always suppress you, and they try to check those your excesses and bring it back to what they want you to be. So it wasn't as easy for me, but I know I have elder ones, because I told you already I'm the ninth. I have elder ones, but I still play trumps. But even at that, when you come back home, you'll be disciplined. Whatever you do, you have time limit. A child is expected to stay at home, stay outside. And once the time they don't find you and you come back, you're on your own. So you know you'll be disciplined. So everything is like a kind of monitoring. So the parents should put their eyes on kids, so that the kids will not just say nobody's asking me, or the elder ones or cousins or whatever say nobody's asking me, and you will not stop asking. You will not stop checking on them, because if you stop, that's what we want. Freedom. Because those trying to venture, is all we're seeking is freedom. It's not like freedom, because at home you will not have all the privilege to do what you do outside. But freedom has limitations. When you fall into trouble, you see that child again now will now run back home. So running back home is like he's running back to go and tell the parents, to go and tell the parents that I've done something outside, please, I need protection. So you see, if they run back home and they need protection, all you need to do is, like, rather than chase them out there, you protect them, but you must cancel them or allow them to face the consequences of what they go out there to see, and so that when they meet check and balances, maybe they will begin to change and see it.
In case you're just tuning in, it is HBS show with Blessing, History and Success. And my guest on the program is Obi Honorable Chiweta, Okonta, Agbogidi, Ashikegbe-Iwebunakiti. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
It's the HBS show with Blessing, the screen goddess. History behind success of your role model. Yeah, Oluwa lifted me higher. Oh, now they wanna eat with me. Now they wanna drink with me. Now they see me as something. But I can't forget yesterday when they saw me as nothing. No one knows tomorrow, brother. No one knows tomorrow, sister. No one knows tomorrow, mama. No one knows tomorrow, papa. Yeah. It's the HBS show with Blessing, the screen goddess. History behind success of your role model.
Good to know that you're still there. It is HBS show. Don't forget to like and share, and also subscribe to our platform, HBS show with Blessing. Before that break, Obi Honorable Chiweta Okonta was talking about the youth. And there was one thing he said, that the parents have a lot of role to play. If you want your son to be a good boy, you want your daughter to be a good girl, you have a role to play, 100% role to play. So that when they go out there, if they want to misbehave, to remember the mother, to remember the father, the discipline at home. I think that's what will put them into checking. So they were like, I don't want to go crazy, because when I get home, I'll face a lot of discipline. So, sir, tell us, how did you meet your wife?
My wife, really, the queen.
Yes.
You know, in the wake of youthful exuberance, most of us must have seen our wives, but we didn't, because we are not ready. Marriage is not something people run into. A lot of us had the opportunity to get married when we are even 20. Or we see those things like it's not in the
Bondage.
Yeah, because what kind of responsibility? What do you really, you're on the move, and somebody who's on the move to explore or wants to know, conquer, or wants to enjoy, he doesn't like responsibility. So I had a lot of fun. So my fun life took me too deep that I got married not quite long. Yeah, but I'm happy because God's time is always the best. And my wife,
God is never late.
Yes, but at the same time, I got wiser before seeing my wife. I got wiser. I had to pray well. I got wiser in the sense that what I knew before I married my wife, if I had married then, maybe it would have been a problem to me, because then I was not checking out with this what's it called, genotype of a thing.
Okay.
A lot of us were busy playing with women, nobody was really bothered, because it was not taught during our time that this, that, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So maybe when I got set to marry now, I was only coming across the same AS, because I am AS. Okay. And by the time you now place order that you want to begin to look for wife, it means you'll be looking for a specific type, like AA. And not just because you're looking for AA, you now look for a mad person to bring into your home and say no. You'll be asking God for it, that God should give you the real wife that will bless your,
give you peace,
and give you peace and all that. So it took time, and when I met my wife, I met my wife through somebody I know, and that person I know thinks that this woman would be good for me, and all I wanted to be sure was to meet with her. And when I met her, my wife is a God-fearing person, an opposite of me. Somebody who's an opposite of you. You see, it's not like me, because we are the tough, hard. And I met somebody that is calm.
Yeah, super calm.
So, and I graced the day God gave her to be. So she became my wife. I didn't waste 6 months to go to church with her. So that's how I got my wife, and she's the queen.
Okay, sir.
Heart, yeah.
All right. So you were once honorable member in the Oshimile South Council. So tell us, when you were there, what are those things you brought into the council to benefit the people?
Well, I would first thing first, like the council, is a place where you serve your people. Your people first say you have to go. But I didn't start by going to the council. I started, it was during my own tenure was during the last tenure of our former governor, His Excellency James Gori.
Okay.
That was his last tenure. That was 2008. That's when I got into council. His last tenure, and then there was agitation for power shift. This power shift. I was not like I was among people agitating power shift, rotation of governorship. Rotation should come to. So in the bid, we were working with the then she's now in the APC or I don't know whatever party, Marian Namakali. That's the Papando of Asala. So Enyi Papando. The Enyi Papando was working seriously. The husband was the PDP chairman then, and we were talking about rotation. The power should shift to. So all our agenda was, so I had to join force and all that. I became the ward chairman under the. Now you have two positions. One is the state one, and the other one is the opposition. So we now we now had parallel structure, so to say. The one the governor was handling and the one that we were introducing. Under that introduction, that was when we had Obielum and all that. So we became the ones opposing that we need change, that power should shift and all that. So at the end, I became a ward chairman. Having been a ward chairman, we registered more voters and all that. We galvanized people to see reasons and why we need to why Delta State should be one. Everybody in Delta State is a potential governor. So long it comes to your region, you are very free to vie. If you have the means and you have what it takes to lead the people to where they want to be or where they should be. So having done that and galvanized support, the grassroots support, and later the whole thing came to one fold, one great umbrella, because we're all PDP.
Yes.
And we still remain PDP.
Yes.
So when it came now said that it would be nice for me to leave the ward chairman to go further to serve the people in the local government as a legislator, to bring some things that I know and I've seen to the local level where the legislatures are. So a lot of persons contested, and at the end, the flag was given to me to represent I'm from Ward 4.
Okay.
Ward 4 is Umweze. Then we used to have it was 11 ward. As the agitation goes further now, they created it to 14. So it became 14 councillors. But then if it is federal, we call it Ward 4.
Okay.
If it's now state, now we not call it Ward 5 because of the shift. Okay. So I presented Ward 4, which is Umweze, and that's where my is. And while I was in the council, I was sworn in, but I was sworn in as a chief whip. I was not like a floor member. I was a principal officer on my first day job. So in the wake of the job, we passed some bylaws and under our tenure, you should know, under our tenure that the council that you know today the interlocking and so many other things were done. It was the face of the council. Rather, 10 or 2, we understand some crisis went on around because most of these chairmen too would not want the councillors to have what they call constituency project, what you bring back to your people. You know, but in the beginning they will agree to it. But once they get in there, it becomes a masterpiece of the executive to be the ones doing most things. So if you're not in the good book of the chairman, you end up not getting anything to your people. But if you're a dogged fighter, you might sacrifice what you have for your people. So, like in my tenure, I did borehole. My people, the borehole is still in front of the palace, but it's long stop because then I had to do that. Though I was not, it's not the chairman's constituency project. It's a project that initiated that. How do I impact something to my people? So I had to do something they will see. I dug a borehole and put a stanchion where they can get clean water. And during my tenure too, I seized the less privileges because before I became a councillor, I'm a Rotarian. Okay. And as a Rotarian, I joined Rotary Club in 2004. So I was already a Rotarian before I became a councillor. Politician. Yeah, so I know what you can do to affect the common persons. Yeah. You know, I did my best to contribute by giving some little stipends to those who are in need. And each time we have like Christmas season, you know you must go round. Yes. You know you must go round. Yes. You must go round with fowl. You must go round with rice. You must share something. So all that for the people to be happy. All that we did. But the story about me is like I never wanted to go to council for 2 tenures. But when I was going, the infighting and all that, I said, look, I want to go to council for just 1 term. And 1 term alone is good enough for me. And because of my faith or my belief, I went to the council as a principal officer. I left the council as a leader of the house. Wow. So what else do I really want? So rather than go to the council to become a councillor, I should be thinking of going up. But you know, by local government, it's not like that. Oshimiri South is more than Oshimiri South. Because we now find out that interferences are more in Oshimiri South. Because this is a local government that house the state governor. This is a local government that has every other commissioners, and so there's so much interest group in our local government. So until you fall into one of the best interest group, maybe God will push you to, then you begin to rise. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. One last more question is how were you able to stand and fight against all odds to pull you down when you are agitating to become somebody? Like
the truth is, it is you that will know exactly where you want to go. It's you that will ask yourself those bitter questions. If I'm drawn down, will I continue to fight or will I stay down? But I would say in all of this is the grace of God. God who has given man the knowledge, the strength, life itself. We always ask him to give us the wisdom to pilot our affairs and all our ups and downs. I cannot even tell you all what I've gone through, but I know every human being, even you seated here asking me that, you're still passing through things. And how you have gone through it. If you begin to tell people the story, they won't believe it. They won't believe. So what you just say, you give God the glory because God has been there for us. He's been there for me. It's all in the name of God that I've been able to conquer I don't call them my enemies. They're not my friends. Because when you conquer somebody, it's either they're your subject or your friend.
Yes.
So, but I don't want to use the word subject. But I know they are not my friends. And in trying to stand up when you're seated and somebody says you're not standing up, if you stand up, both of you will measure up the same height.
Yes.
And now that you are standing up, you can now be able to shake hands as contemporaries. Yes. So that's what I think it is that today for me.
All right.
Yeah.
Just before we go, your advice to the youth out there.
My advice is like to the youth. The youth there, they want to venture, they want to exploit. But what I think they are missing out there, the basic thing they are missing is education. Most of these youths who have left education for money or pursue other trade and left education is very worrisome. Because when we are growing up, what was in front of us, what we were taught, and what was our focus was going to school, knowing how to read and write, so that you can stand tall in the mix of anybody. You can be able to represent yourself in the mix of people. You'll be able to write that dream or things that you want to write. When you're called upon to write with your pen, you don't need to look for somebody to help you, because that's where the problem lies. And that's why we have these deficiencies. That's why when you talk and talk, you think it's money that is talking. But the man who is later stands tall better than you, because you come back with your money for his services. Okay? So I will urge the youth not to neglect education. We know money is good. We know money can buy a lot of things. But money cannot change illiteracy.
That's the fact.
So what money can do is give you good health, good clothes, good house, but money cannot change you automatically and you become literate. You still need education, so you must go back and fall back to education. So I urge you to stop neglecting education. You can do both, or you can focus on education and still make money. But when you focus on money, and by the time they say you should go to education, you begin to look for somebody to help you write again. It's not by acquiring a certificate. It's not by getting it, by buying it the way they buy these days.
Yes.
It's not by that. It's by representing that certificate when you are called upon. Because with your certificate, you say, look, you're learned or you are literate. And they say, spell it. You begin to wonder if the man, you feel insulted. You feel, what is this man talking about? You think, now the next thing is you turn violent. The reason why you're violent is because you don't know it. So I will urge the youth that if our country will be good, nice, better, and we need better, strong leaders, and we want people who can represent us, not by going there, not even knowing what the constitution means, or not even understanding when it's being read, or when they ask them to read it out, or when they are writing up or summing it up. We don't need such people now. So education is my advice to the youth, that they should fall back to it. Every other thing will always fall in place and fall in line, because you have the talent to make money. If you have that talent, use the talent to go to school, so that with one word, you will become untouchable and unstoppable.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time on the program. All right, we've come to the end of the program. No doubt you had a swell time with Obi Honorable Chiweta Okonta, Agbogidi, Ashikegbe-Iwebunakiti. You heard it. He said, education is the key. go after education, then every other thing will fall in place. I am Blessing of Onia will do it again. Remember to like, subscribe, and share our YouTube channel. Bless you.
It's the HBS show with Blessing, the screen goddess. History behind success of your role model.